Hey guys, this is Bo. So I want to show you how to make this Christmas tree for less than $5 out of a pallet. So what are we going to need for this project to get started? Well, pallet project would be a little tough to do without a pallet. Okay, and on top of the pallet, we're going to need a marking device of some sort. The proper device is one of these, which is a chalk line. I think pretty self-explanatory, but you can use a pen and a ruler if you really want, but I'm lazy. Then we have this one, your jigsaw of choice, or handsaw, or whatever else you really feel like you want to use. But let's get real, that is the lazy man's way of doing it. And if you need it, a hammer, just to kind of negotiate those boards out of the way. First thing we're going to do is flip this guy around, because we need to cut the back part. So we're going to leave this front, because this will be the place where we'll have the tree part, and it'll be good that way. But it's better now to cut out the back. So we'll just flip that back like that, and we'll determine what side we wanted. Now I wanted that part up there to be the top of the tree. So what we're going to do is cut this nice and close. There you go. Nice and close at the top. We'll leave a little bit, because we can always trim that up later. And these I just want off, except for maybe this one right here, because then we can use this to screw into something and secure it. And then this one, I just want totally gone. So let's go get that thing cut up. Now we need to flip it over, so that way we can see the front again. And using the chalk line, we'll snap it at diagonal. I went up a couple because the bottom two were kind of junky, and this will give me plenty. So now let's get to cutting with the jigsaw. And as you can see, we have a pretty convincing little Christmas tree. Should look pretty sexy when we get this thing painted up, which is what we're going to do next. One big piece is we need to reinforce the front so that way it doesn't have a chance of falling off. I mean, it's just held on by some screws. So we're going to countersink first, then add a screw to each of the branches to make sure it's absolutely not going to go anywhere. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is, because it's always a good idea to sand these things, even if it's not going to be great. I mean, the whole reason to sand it is to prepare the surface for paint. Also, just to make sure you're not going to be opening up a bunch of pores to let the paint go through. Knock down some of those nails. Be gentle about it, because remember, this is mostly garbage wood. That should be fine. This, I don't really care about too much, but I'll just leave it on there for posterity, just to kind of show people where it came from. And I'm really lazy at getting those nails out. So, I'm gonna hit this with the orbital. It's only 80 grit. Could go with the 40 if you really felt like it, but it's not too big a deal. Now, since I'm outside, I don't need to worry about dust issues, but if you're inside doing this, obviously make sure you got your dust stuff done, not just this, but a full out like shop vac thing, or you're not gonna like life. So let's go ahead and get this thing sanded. All right, so what I decided to do is move this indoors. It is really freaking hot outside, and it is California November, not like Michigan November, so I'm like dying of sweat out there. So what we're gonna do is, now that this is on the table, we'll get this thing painted up, but I think we need to do one thing first. We need to make a symbol for the top of this thing. I don't know if you guys remember, but we took some of these pieces that we cut off, and what I'm thinking of doing is I just wanna joint two of these together, like this, so that way I can make one little panel and we can cut out whatever we want on the top. So let's get that going. Okay. Perfect. Look at that. In order to make a panel, what you're doing is basically taking those two pieces and jointing one edge. It's not quite that easy. So what we have here are some cauls, which is half a 2x4 ripped in half with some packing tape on top. That just makes sure no glue attaches to them. Basically what we're going to do is sandwich between the two cauls, and then when the glue comes together, we'll have a nice flat surface, and then with all the clamps in place, the glue will be perfectly happy. Okay, we're going to get the paint in here. This is the paint I'll be using, which is this kind of brightish greenish color. It's called Green Acres. This is an ultra satin sample. So these little samples you can get at either Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever. They're really small. I think, what's the size on this guy? 200 millimeters or milliliters, or about half an ounce worth of paint. This will be more than enough to cover this whole thing. And it only costs about maybe $3. You can actually sometimes get these for free depending on who you talk to. Or even better, if they have a whole bunch of samples and there is a green color, you can get that for like $1. So this is the way to go. Use a paint thingy, because even though it's just cleaner this way, trust me. So let's do a little time lapse. So now what we got to do is we have to put on some ornaments. And come on, you think I'm really going to put ornaments on this thing? However, we do have some spray paint. And if we cut the bottom off one of these guys, in a nice little circle. We can use this to spray our spray paint right in there, and then bam, circle. With the glue dry, the panel comes on out, and we're going to get ready to go on this star. Well, or whatever else you want to put on there. I mean, come on, it's just a panel, so just cut what you want. 5. Again, it doesn't really matter what you make this of, you know, so don't get your panties in a bunch or whatever. I mean, just make this whatever you want. There we go. Perfect, kind of. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is nicely roughed out. Again, making a pentagram, well. Oh, Jesus. There you go, there's a star, okay. Let's get this thing over on the bandsaw. Okay, it's pretty good to go. So I'm using a all-in-one primer paint. Just hopefully I have enough yellow to do this. There we go. Should do a lot of light coatings, but again, not super hypercritical, as you'll see. It'll just soak in there, and then we'll hit it again. And I think we're done at this point. Let's get this thing together, and we'll see what kind of awesomeness we have. Okay, and the last thing we gotta do is, since we have our star, I sunk a hole here. We'll just take this screw and just kind of feed it in just a little bit, just to get it started. Again, super critical that you countersink these and also at least cut the hole, otherwise it will snap out and it's bad stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and put just a little dab of glue on there. And here we go, so. Yes. Yay! And now to finish that off, we just need a little spritz. In order to take care of that, you just go like this. And there you go. Very small amount. Don't need a whole lot. Just want to spritz it. There we go. And she is complete. And what kind of tree wouldn't have lights? So I strung lights in from the back, stapled a couple, and look at that action. It's gonna be super sexy when we plug this guy in. All right, guys, and here we go. There is the final piece, everything all done and good to go, wired up. And hey, not too shabby considering it was absolutely free. So let's see what it looks like with the lights out. Woo! Ooh, scary. So if you guys liked it, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. Kind of a long one, weird one, but this is the kind of stuff I like to do. So like, comment, subscribe, and have a happy holiday season, you guys. At least the beginning of it. See ya.